Greetings and salutations, everybody. This is me. I'm bringing you a pen review. As I've been watching other people's, I was inspired to do my own, I guess. And I'm going through. I'll start with some. It's not like I have a huge collection, but I'll start with some that I don't see any of online, mainly because these were mostly somewhat older pens. Like this one right here, I got. I'm not sure exactly when, about 12 years ago or so, and I'm pretty sure I got it as a closeout. So it's not like this thing is currently available in stores, I'm afraid. But nevertheless, we'll look at it and see what we can see. This is a Conklin Metropolis. So this was from I believe this was from just before when Jaffa took over. So this is sort of from the second version of the Conklins. Let me focus on the cap here for a minute. The cap starts off with this shiny bit at the front, which is, sort of asymmetric like so. But the rest of the cap is brushed metal. The clip, unlike a lot of the modern Conklins, the clip is not spring loaded. You can't push there and get anything happening. So it all has to happen from right down there. There are some half moon type things on the cap in that little center band there. And as I'm right here, let's take a look at right there. Thumbs in the way. You can just see engraved in the resin of the body there the Conklin Pen Company. It's not filled in with anything, so it's really hard to see unless you get it shining in the light just right. So that's a nice touch, I think. As I say, the rest of the body of the pen is mostly this amber resin. It does have a chrome colored end cap at the back. Um, it's a cartridge converter pen. Let me unscrew the cap. The cap technically is a screw-on cap. I have managed in the past to just pull it off because the threads are not very tight on this thing. The section is made out of the same material as the body, which is a handy dandy thing. I always like that. So minus a few points for the chrome at the back, but plus a lot more for the section being the same amber. It's got the tapered hourglass shape so that your fingers are just sort of always right in there. So even if these threads were sharp, which they are not, I can almost not even feel them. Well, I'm trying to feel them right here. Um, then you're not really touching those threads anyway. The nib, trying to not get some glare on there and failing miserably. This is the standard Conklin nib. It's very plain. There's a couple diagonal lines at the top, and that's just about it. It says Conklin, Iridium Point, and M. So technically a medium nib. I believe these are Bach nibs, but I'm not 100%. I have a cartridge in there. As I said, it's a cartridge converter, so nothing really exciting going on inside, but of course you would unscrew the section to get at that. All right, look at the feed there for a little bit. Got the fins all the way through, and as you rotate the pen, you can see that there is some color variation in the amber. You can also tell that I don't quite have the section lined up with the body, but that's okay. It still looks good to me. All right, this pen does post technically, but you have to really jam that lid, that cap on there really tight. But you can get it. If you don't, it'll just come off pretty easy. With it posted, it's a fairly long pen, so not too long to be uh, truly uncomfortable, but you can tell that you do have a little bit more weight at the back. I have gotten in the habit of using it unposted just because unless you really push it on there, the cap will fall off before you get to the end of the first line. So I'm going to try it with this writing sample and see what happens. So this is the Conklin Metropolis. The ink I have in here is a Pelican turquoise cartridge. And you can see that, oops, I appear to have just knock stuff off. I'm not sure. Still getting used to this camera. All right, a bit of writing. All right, don't know how well you can hear. It makes a little bit of noise, but it's a very smooth nib. There's just a little bit of, there's a little bit of noise on the paper. As far as wetness goes, this lays down a fairly consistent line. Now, admittedly, this is cheap paper, but it dries pretty quickly, though. As far as line variation goes, this is not technically the solidest steel nib I've ever used, but it's probably in the top 3, so there's no pressure. It's me pushing down about as far as I want to go. I mean, granted, I am not a huge line variation person, so I don't really get a lot of practice in this. Somebody who is more experienced might be able to squeeze out a bit more, but that's about all I'm going to be able to get out of that, which is not much, I think. But I'm not really in the line variation business. I tend to just write, just straight ahead anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Um, but yes, these nibs. This is, as I said, this is a Conklin nib. My experience has been a bit hit or miss, but this has been an excellent nib. And as you can see, even as I'm sitting here yakking along and holding the pen out here, it doesn't really give me any hard starts when I try to come back and write some more. So this has been a pretty solid performer. I've had a lot of different inks in this pen, um, and they've all performed really well. Um, I have, as you can tell, I'm not necessarily a person who is required by their psyche to match their ink to their pen body. And even if I was, I really don't really like brown inks, so this wouldn't have a brown ink in there anyway, I'm pretty sure. But nevertheless, it's a very nice writer. As I say, I've had this pen for quite some time. I'm thinking at least 12 years, and I have been very happy with it. I don't remember anymore how much I paid for it. I tried to do a bit of research on eBay to see whether there was any available now, and I could not find any on eBay, but I didn't check. I haven't checked other sites, so I have no idea how much one of these would run you these days if you wanted to collect one. But if you can find one, I don't think you'll be disappointed. So there we are, Conklin Metropolis. And as I said, I'll try and bring you some more of these with some other not really available for sale pens in the near future. Thanks. Bye.